Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Lauren here with Blaine on our next episode of Energy Works. And we are going to wrap up the Wake Up series that has introduced you to this little technique that is bigger than it seems. And so the last two moves of the Wake Up are the zip up and the hook up. So we're each going to explain one of them, and I'm going to start talking about the zip up. And I want to start with, if you're tuning into this podcast already, I'm going to presuppose that you've got an interest in energy beyond the physics definition of what energy is, and that maybe you consider yourself to be a person who is affected by other people's energy. Maybe you think of yourself as an empath, where you can really feel how others are feeling. Maybe you work in energy fields and you feel like you take on other people's energies. If you do, then you know what that means. And if you don't, then it's okay. Don't worry about it, because it's not something that you want to learn how to do. It's not something that you want to do. But we all have that capacity and do that to some extent because we have these things called mirror neurons, which allows us to feel empathy and compassion for other people, so that literally we start to mirror each other. If I'm sitting there and I'm having a conversation with you, and all of a sudden I start to tell you a really sad story and I start to cry, you very well may start to cry and to feel sad and to be empathic with me, to go through what I'm going through. And similarly, if you've ever been in a room where somebody starts laughing, you might not have even heard the joke, but you'll feel the laughter and it'll start to ripple through the room, and you might start laughing even if you never heard what was funny, until the whole room is erupting in laughter simply by the resonance of our energy. So it's not a bad thing it's actually a really good and important thing to be able to feel what someone else feels, to have compassion for somebody else's experience. It is what makes the world a better place, because it allows us to it deepens our empathy. It deepens our desire to help another person, to help the world. People that volunteer after natural disasters to go make food, to go help search for people, like all of that is because we can feel beyond the limits of our own experience. And that can also sometimes feel overwhelming, especially if you really are tuned into energies and you pick up energies from all the people around you. So imagine now you live in a city and you are really empathic. You are able to kind of feel other people's energy more than just that mirror neuron ability that we all have. And now you're walking down the street and you see a homeless person, scrunched up by the side of the building. And you see there's somebody else panhandling. And then you see two people walking by and they're having a really heated argument. And then you see some guy kind of, flip off a cab driver. And you see all of this stuff going on. And all of a sudden you're starting to feel horrible. And you're taking on all of this energy, to the point where some people that really take on other people's energy, they don't like to go out. They don't want to be around people. They take on so much energy that they feel like they can't even know who they are anymore. Okay, if that's you, or even if it's not you, I want to show you this technique that can help you keep your own energies with you and not take on other people's energies. And this technique is called the zip up. Another thing that is really beautiful about this technique, because it literally is about kind of husbanding or keeping to you your own energies, it is a technique that you can do to feed yourself a positive thought, a positive emotion, kind of that internal mental to-do, but in an affirmation of what you want your day to be or this moment to be. Because what we're doing is we're tracing a meridian that runs from the base of the body, right at the pubic bone, all the way up to the mouth. It's called the central meridian, and it is about your central core. And so when you trace this meridian, you are increasing your capacity to be yourself, if that makes sense. And you also can zip up an affirmation, draw that desire right up the body and seed it right into the brain or the head where your actions kind of flow from. So it's really easy to do. All you're going to do is bring your hands one on top of the other. Now, if you're not watching this, but you're listening, I'm going to be really clear in my instructions. Hands one on top of the other, and you're going to put them right in front of the pubic bone. You can actually have the hands resting on the physical body, or you can be off the physical body by a couple of inches in the field, and you will still get the same effect. And you can try it both ways to just see which one feels better for you. So hands in front of the pubic bone, and you're going to inhale and you're going to slowly draw the hands right up the front of the body, right up that central line, all the way up to your mouth. And then, because I like to continue this on, you're going to just bring your hands all the way up overhead, and then just open your hands and let them float back down the sides. We're going to do that 2 more times. So we do that 3 times. The breathing pattern is in the nose as you draw the hands up overhead, and then exhale out the mouth as the hands release down around the body. You can do this really nice and slowly. So let's do it together. I like to close my eyes. You can close your eyes or leave them open and tune in. So some of you that are more familiar with working with energy, you might start to feel some tingling or heat on your hands as you move over these different meridian patterns. And as you tune in, just take a moment to see if there is an affirmation that you want to give to yourself right now. And if you're doing that, that affirmation is going to be in the present tense as if it's already happened. So the affirmation isn't going to be, I'm going to have a really great day tomorrow. It's, my day is wonderful. I feel amazing. I learn everything I need to learn. So something like that. I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm present. So tune in and see what affirmation that you want to present to your energy systems right now. And then we're going to start. And inhale slowly in the nose as you draw the hands up that central channel of the body. Passing the mouth, go up overhead, exhale, and release the hands wide into the field around you. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, draw the hands up. When you get to the mouth, if you want, you can flip your hands so that the palms face up and then smooth them out in the field around you. So you can kind of choose and play around with it. Again, what feels good to your energies. Last time, inhale, draw the hands up, flip at the mouth, and exhale, smooth the hands wide around you in the field. And then after each technique, I like to just shake off my hands, shake off that energy. And then I'm going to turn it over to Blaine, who's going to show you how to make sure that that energy really stays with you.
Thank you, Lauren. I already feel shifted just because I did that with you a few times. My energy feels more buoyant than it did when we started this podcast. So things can change just really quickly when you're working with your energy. Okay, so the final step of the Energy Medicine Yoga Wake Up is called the hookup. So Lauren did the zip up. This is the hookup. And she shared with you that your central meridian runs from your pubic bone up to your mouth. And that's what we were working with the zip up. The hookup also works with the central meridian. It also works with another meridian that's on the back of the body called the governing meridian. And the governing meridian starts way down at the base of your spine by your tailbone, way down there. And it comes up your back. And I can't take my hand all the way up my back, but I can kind of pretend like I'm reaching with one hand and then take the other hand over. And it comes over the top of your head to the mouth. So these two meridians have a point of meeting each other at the mouth. The central from the pubic bone up to the mouth, the governing from the base of the spine up the center of the back to the mouth. And so there's this place where they meet, and that's where Lauren was saying you can flip your hands at that place if you like when you're doing the zip up. So we have this central channel of energy in the center of the body. Donna Eden calls it an energetic spine. It is recognized by almost all of the ancient traditions. The Chinese and in Chinese medicine call it the Taji pole. Yoga from India calls it the Sushumna. It's a very powerful, we could go on about this, this energetic spine quite a bit, but many of you have heard of your chakras. Your chakras are on this spine of energy that you have running up the center of the body, made up of these two meridians, central and governing meridian. And so when we do the hookup, we are putting one hand in a key point on the central meridian, and we're putting another hand on a key point on the governing meridian, and we're hooking them up together. And when we do this, we strengthen, it's like this energetic core of our body, which also strengthens our aura, the auric field that is around us. And it can really it can make us feel grounded, but also lifted at the same time. It's pulling the energies of the core and the energies around the body. We have this auric field. It's like an energetic spacesuit. And it helps keep the good energy in, it helps keep the bad energy out. It has many functions. And so from within, we are strengthening this energetic core, and it ripples out to outside feet, outside our physical body, really helping our energetic spacesuit and keeping us in this energetic, healthy place. So how we do it with these two, I think Donna calls this the basic hookup, because there are many points on the central and there are many points on the governing, but these are two key points that are really powerful to use for this exact technique. So you take one hand, we'll just work with the middle finger today, but you can, do more than a different finger if you want, right inside your belly button. So I'm going to stand up, and this is where my belly button is, and I have my middle finger. So I have one finger in my belly button. That's on the central meridian because it runs up the front of the body. The governing runs up the back of the body to the mouth. So between the eyebrows, in some traditions we call this point the third eye, you can take the middle finger of the other hand and press both your fingers in and pull both fingers up. So you like gentle to medium pressure, press in and pull up. And with your mind's eye and your energy directed inward, we typically take 3 breaths here. In through the nose, out through the mouth 3 times. And release. And that is the final step. It's called the hookup of the whole energy medicine yoga wake up. And Lauren, I will pass it back to you to close off this multi-episode series we've been doing to teach everyone about your creation.
I'm really glad that I got to just do that hookup because I feel more grounded, which is one of the things that move does. So I really loved what you said before about how quickly this can work. And I think that's a key takeaway. So let's just recap the whole EMYoga wake up. You've got the 4 thumbs right under the collarbone, the center of the sternum, halfway down the side body, and right under the eyes. Those are the 4 thumbs. Then we have this silence, which you can do for as long as feels good for you. Then we have the cross crawl, that repatterning of the body from that parallel which is not serving us, to that crossover, which really serves us. So we do tap same side to same side, couple to 4 times maybe, and then we cross that energy over for twice as long as we did it the same side. Then we do that zip up, strengthening the aura, strengthening our own energy systems, keeping ourself to ourself, and giving ourselves an affirmation in that time. And then we end with the hookup, which also, all of the other things that it does, it also accents the zip up that you just did by really kind of deeply attaching it in to the body. And as Blaine said, that deep attachment in also allows it and causes it to deeply expand out. And so the bigger that your aura is, and we'll do some podcasts in the future about the aura and what it is and how powerful it is, but the bigger it is and the more in tune with you it is, the better you feel, the more protected you feel, the more able you feel to be able to interact with everyone in the world around you and all of your circumstances. So that's the EMYoga Wake Up. It's those 5 pieces, the 4 thumps, the silence, cross crawl, zip up, and hook up. And that really is the genesis of EMYoga. It started with that, and for the longest time, that is all that I taught in terms of Donna's work with a traditional yoga practice. I taught the wake up, and then we would just do a practice that you would see at any yoga studio anywhere. Although, of course, it was me teaching it, so it wasn't the same thing that you'd find anywhere else. But pretty much this was something that you would recognize. Whereas a lot of the moves in an EMYoga class, you'll think, that kind of looks like yoga, but something a little different about that. So that's how it all started, just with the wake up. And I will tell you that I have seen again and again and again really powerful, magical even transformations in people just adding that into their day. The goal, I'm going to say this again, is to have a relationship with your energy. And it starts by having a relationship. You have to start somewhere. And this is the easiest, most accessible, most available, and honestly, most potent way to begin. There are thousands of energy practices, and the more that you study with me and with Blaine and with the whole energy medicine yoga community, you're going to start to learn them, and you'll start to lean into the ones that you really love, that speak to you or the needs that you have in your life. But before and beyond all of that, this is the place to start. This is the place to start, and you'll always come home to this. This is home base. Everything else adds on, but this is home base. So I hope that you experiment with this and try these techniques and try them before you do your yoga practice that you already do and see if it changes, how it lands for you. Try it before you go on that next big interview and let us know. Let us know your experience. We really want to hear from you. We love the relationship that we are creating with you. That's part of this spreading of this good energy throughout the world. That is how energy works. So thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate you being here. Without you, we're not here. So it's a relationship. Thanks so much, and we'll see you all next time on Energy Works.